Thank you so much for joining us today, Aksan. Our first question is, we had you visited the affected area after the earthquake. Where did you visit, and what do you remember most about the affected archaeological sites and cultural properties?
Okay. Thank you, Hayashi-san. So now I try to explain about my answer. This is my presentation. I am a painter, and my profession is to draw reconstruction images for archaeology, as many of the ancient scenes are only able to presented by image drawings, as there were no photographs. I usually work with archaeologists, sometimes visiting the excavated site together. I have visited 2 small towns in Fukushima coastal area in 2017, first time after the disaster. Today, I would like to describe what I saw and felt in there as an artist went there together with local archaeologists. Actually, the area got a rather big earthquake just a few days ago. My colleague in Fukushima told me that there is no serious problem, but people are scared, remembering the tsunami. I am feeling so sorry for their tough mentality called back by the shock even after 10 years. Here is a map of Fukushima coastal area, where almost the town seriously affected by tsunami attack. The right side map shows the position of a nuclear power station that caused even more serious disaster. And these are the towns I have been. For Minamisoma town, I have been working with their local heritage managers since then till now. You see the map of the area under evacuation order made just after the explosion occurred. Because of the wind direction, Minamisoma had small good luck. The order was lifted rather quickly. Tomioka is closer to the power station, and their evacuated block is still there. When I have been to Tomioka town, it was just a few months after the residents could come back home, although it was just less than 20% of the original population. Then we heard more people will come back temporarily to gather for their annual festival takes place with cherry blossom in April. We visited again on the festival day to see many families coming back a day from their places of refuge. People tried to participate their most unforgettable hometown event. But almost the avenue is in the other side of the barrier. The archaeologist guiding us in Tomioka told me humans are not allowed to go over the fence, although animals are free to go. I knew how the wild or cattle animals are increasing their numbers in the evacuated areas. TV program shown the scenes of wild boar family living in a house, sleeping on beds. Then I thought about Aesop fables. The fables are realized in there, the town existing under the powerful invisible contamination. Beside of the Cherry Blossom Avenue, there was a junior high school where the local archaeologist himself had graduated. The gymnastic hall of the school was used as a temporary shelter after tsunami attack. It was the day many of Japanese schools had graduation ceremony in the morning. He showed the places in where people were urgent and tense by 2 catastrophic disasters occurring next to next in few days. I have been impressed by his way of reconstructing the scenes of the shelter with archaeological observation on the left materials. Showing the amount of newspapers, he talked about how the people were desperate to know what was going on. By the setting of the chairs, we could see there must be families or neighbors gathering closely together. On a desk, there was piled up papers written the local government orders to the sheltering people. The top one, which was the final paper they received, was written with immediate evacuation order. The local heritage managers are wishing to preserve these places, but they are not sure how the town plan going. So they are preserving the places in their MR system, which is a mixture of real recording and virtual experience. Already preserved lots of materials were there too, but many of them need to be registered in their large official preservation list and need to be checked the level of radioactive contamination. What I saw was their endless work going on, not only for rescuing old collections, but also adding enormous numbers of new objects and materials left from the historical disaster. Tomioka Town had just a few members in their cultural heritage section when we visited, and all of them are still having traumatic memories in themselves. He said this river was such a fun place for his childhood, but now none of the parents want their children to play around there because of the fear of contamination. Okay, that's the first part for your question.
Thank you, Aki-san. And then our next question is next month will mark 10 years since the earthquake. How do you plan to develop your activities related to archaeology and cultural properties in or with the affected areas?
Okay, now I'm going to talk about another town, Minamisoma. Our destination in Minamisoma was a national heritage Jomon Stone Age shell mound, preserved just before the disaster. The archaeological park was started construction on very month of the March 2011, then stopped for years till their evacuation order to be lifted. The shell mound is facing to large river mouth marsh open to the sea. In modern age, rice paddy was developed with farming and fishing villages in lower land. Almost such coastal villages and paddies disappeared, and the shell mound left on the hill edge overviewing there. The sea is seen over the straight line of concrete wall. Piles of black plastic bags are containing tsunami rubbles. Beside of these artificial views, almost parts of the landscape went back to wild marshland, like it was in Jomon Stone Age. The broken pieces contained the black plastic bags are broken pieces of local village lives. My profession is to reconstruct people's life and actions with archaeological method, which is careful observation on the left objects. I have drawn these images for a different job before to see these photos. When I saw the history of Urajiri village life, I was deeply impressed how long the local people are living with the rich natural diversity of the river mouth marsh and the sea. This is a part of our project. We are interviewing some of the local members participating in the management of Urajiri shell mound site. Many of them are coming to the site monthly, traveling distance from their places of refuge. Cutting grasses and having a picnic, gathering on the shell mound field has become a rare chance of their reunion. Here, I discovered the cultural heritage is becoming precious community heritage. An ancient ruin site is left in completely ruined landscape created in 21st century, and it is given an unique role for inheriting local community memories. We are planning to make an art show on the shell mound field in this March. It is an unexpected coincidence that the show to take place in the 10 years memorial month, though. The title of it is Pieces of the Memories in Rajiri. The show will be only for a day, but shown online local community people participated to produce some artworks with excavated Jomon pottery pieces. I had broken houseware pieces picked up by my friend after the tsunami, so I display them in plant shape as the wild plants endlessly appear from the shell mound ground. This event has a background of our practices that has been taking place on Urajiri shell mound since 2018. The project title was Power of the Invisible. I organized this project on purpose for rediscovering meaning of the cultural heritage through sensitivity of the art. The local community managing Urajiri shell mounds, archaeologists, or geographic researchers has participated the project with some artists. Carefully touching trees or stones were actually quite fresh experiences for many of the local people who commonly come to the site. Also, we made a tea ceremony on the field to share a peaceful afternoon sitting down on the grasses. We heard some people were chatting about the days and the memories before the disaster. Then we listened to their traditional festival sound and farmers' songs from small speakers lying down on the field. All places in Tohoku region are having very rich intangible cultural heritages, such as traditional local festivals, working songs or dances. Hundreds of their local shrines have many festivals, and Shishiburi is one of the most important prayer performance for their ceremonies. This is a photo I saw and deeply impressed. There is a strange object made by cushion, empty cans, and slippers. This is an alternative lion head made in a shelter just after a few months of the tsunami attack. The sheltering people who escaped from the same hometown managed to reconstruct their lost lion head, as the real one was taken away by tsunami. My friend researcher told me material heritages could be destroyed, but intangible cultural heritages could survive with people. Actually, intangible cultural heritage could be the most powerful heritage which can make people survive. It can give the people a chance for sharing their community memories together instantly with rich shared history. We also studied about our local pottery makers who needed to be evacuated from their homeland. Their material soil was produced in the area in where radioactive contamination is serious. The potters are escaped to many places separately, and we visited one of the temporary workshops near Fukushima City. They were having struggled to discover new material soil. but not giving up to go ahead with many trials. Here, we learned the engineering of traditional craftsmanship has been not only reconstructed, but also redesigned to surviving with their new conditions. On 2018, we offered the local people diversity of view of their heritage site from the sky on created virtual world. Then this year, we are going to participate in an exhibition for visually impaired people to feel and touch the landscape. We made 3D geographic model of Urajiri shell mound to be touched and learned about environmental setting of the site. Then I made a touchable reconstruction image of the Jomon lives on a shell mound as a symbol of the landscape having a sustainable relationship between the human settlement and annual surroundings. I am hoping to keep in touch with Fukushima through the practice held in their cultural heritages. Also, I hope to keep learning and discovering with their local communities and new members of our project by sharing time and places together. Thank you very much.